All right. Good afternoon, sixth hour. We're going to be looking at some of the bills that you passed. You guys passed a lot of bills, so I'll be motating through these in as efficient of a way as I can. Most presidents will sign the bills that get to their desk simply because it is a painstaking process to get bills to the president's desk. And then on top of that, since it is a pain in the keister to get a bill to the president's desk, usually Congress is going to try and get the president a bill that is signable, that they think he would sign. You might see some Congresses try and trap a president and get him a bill that they know he won't sign, and they'll just try to get him in a situation where either he has to make a public, non-signing or make an issue with the media. But usually the bill, if it gets to a president's desk, it goes through all the committees in the House, passes the House, goes through all the committees in the Senate, passes the Senate. When it gets to their desk, they're most likely signing it. So let's see what the bills you got me here. Representative Granzi, Speaker Granzi, you have an abortion clinic funding bill. This was a pretty popular bill in the class. I think it's written on a very bipartisan way, kind of with respect to each of the touchy subjects of the sides. I am worried that some entities, maybe it's a Planned Parenthood that does a lot of other services, maybe doesn't get funds. But I also understand the sides where some people want to make sure that their dollars don't go towards something they don't approve of here. With that, federal government, tough for all funds to go to things that everybody agrees on, so it's never really a win-win. But I'll sign this bill. I think that this is written decently well. Grancy, DUI justice bill. I'll sign this any day of the week. We've got very, very loose limits in our state on DUIs, and I want people being held accountable for their decisions. Representative Carrick here on the ACP. This had some good dialogue in class, and I would sign this as well here. Kind of getting rid of the ACP. What I was really liked in class is people were mostly, for the most part, seeing the value in this, but that it can be done in a financial lit class like a Mr. Minogue. I think there's value in the ACP, but like a lot of things the government does, when they try to bite off a lot, like requiring everybody in the state to do this, that can be a lot to undertake. So I think there's good goals in it, but maybe a better way to go about it. All right, the cannabis is a great solution for chronic pain. Is that a pun here on chronic? The old chronic pain. But as we look at this here, I don't know whose this is. Whose is this? Proper license, 12.5% tax in 18. Oh boy, I'm going to be vetoing this. I'm a big fan of the 21-year-old age limit, and if we are legalizing this, gosh, I want to say Colorado and the other states is close to a 40% sin tax. And in a day when we are struggling to overcome budget deficits, I want to be, if we're opening this can of worms, I want to make sure that the sale is monitored very strictly by our state government. I think a lot of jobs can be created, but I want to make sure it's pretty strict, and I want a nice tax on it here too. I think 12.5% tax is weak. We got to be higher on that tax right there. Again, I'm almost positive a lot of other states that have this tax it to high heck. So I'm vetoing that one. All right, we got a tardy bill by Dr. Briggs. I'm real sorry, everybody, but 3 tardies per hour all day. If you have 8 classes, that gives you up to, 24 almost? I guess you could say 18. If we've got to the 2, so you got a lot of chances to be tardy. Just like the other one, I want accountability. We need accountability. Get to class on time. I know that's not a popular thing for Nerdy Newey to say, but, veto. Sorry. Melinda Ferguson, hats in school. This seemed to be causing a lot of distraction in class. The debates on this were everything. How long should it be? To me, I'm going to have teachers and admin walking around measuring hats. There's better things to do. Is it the end of the world that you got to wear a hat? Um, I wish it could be as simple as just a hat, but I can see people trying to stretch this out into a number of things. Then they want their hoods up. Uh, Again, accountability. Take your hat off. I get it. I like to wear my hat out too, but I don't wear it to work. So I'm vetoing that too. Wow, this is quite the streak. Chase Christensen, 18-year-old minimum for concealed carry. The concealed carry of 18. Gosh. You know what? I'll sign this one. I'm going to let her go. My gut tells me that what's wrong with open carrying, it's not saying that you can't. I know the argument in class was if you live on your own, you can still protect your household and whatnot there, but the concealed carry, I think we have other ways of protecting ourselves, but I'll still sign this one, but with apprehension. All right, State Bill, Melinda Ferguson again, no school on Veterans Day. Oh boy. I'd love to see a Veterans Day bill here where we combine this with voting. I think that would be a neat way to maybe make a voting holiday in and around Veterans Day, because a lot of our elections happen near Veterans Day and we complain about how people don't vote. I think this is a way that we could, maybe get more people to vote if they're not having to worry about work. But I don't want to look soft on veterans, so I'll sign this here too, though we do have a Memorial Day that we honor as well. All right, welfare requirements here. I wish that there was something here about, parents that have kids. If we find a parent not doing their job and they might be having government funds and they're using drugs, I know that's not ideal, but they also maybe have an 8-year-old at home, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old. I don't know. So a lot of the states that have something like this, number one, I don't know how fiscally responsible it is. They don't catch a ton of people. And two, what do we do with the ones that have kids? It's a horrible situation either way. I get that. But this seemed pretty darn popular. I'll sign it with apprehension, but I'm worried about the criminalization of people that need some help. Like I said the other day, there's a lot of corporations that get help, corporate write-off, tax write-offs, and we're not turning around and using taxpayer dollars that help corporations and drug monitoring people too. I think it's a two-way street. I know that's not a popular opinion, but it's a two-way street. But again, I'm for accountability like we had before, so I'll apprehensively sign this. All right, school bill, open campus. I'd be all about this. I've preached accountability in a lot of these, and I'm not trying to make that a buzzword. I'd love for people to have a little extra time in their day to eat lunch. This could add more time to the classroom, and by golly, it could help local businesses. This, to me, would be a no-brainer if this could be pulled off. I'd sign this any day of the week. All right, silent PLC. Oh boy, this was kind of. I'm sort of confused by it. I don't. I sort of understood this one, but essentially, if I'm getting this right, let's not intermix the people that are there for bad grades with the tardies. I totally understand that. I think a lot of work can be done to figure out what that PLC looks like. Maybe this is a way to start. I don't know if it's the end solution, but I'll sign this one as well. In high school here, the sign out requirement, I totally get it. I would be all over this one here too. I like it. It looks like it would be veto proof anyway. You guys did 26-1. I don't think I want to go against that. I'll sign that. But that leaves us with hats, tardies, and cannabis here. If you guys can override this, it takes a 2/3 majority to override a presidential veto in both the House and in the Senate. Again, whatever we do as a class, we'll assume it passes as the Senate, and you can override my veto. But again, my reasoning on cannabis here is I think we're missing out. We are missing out on quite the tax incentive here. I think we have a lot of leeway on tardies. Real sorry if the current tardy thing doesn't work, but I want accountability. And this looked like a distraction from day one. I know Milton's pretty simple, but heaven forbid Milton turns into an unsimple town. That's not a word, and a town with some poor decisions here. I know a lot of teacher friends of mine. It's a no-brainer on hats with gang-related issues, but I see the problem even just in class, how messy of an issue this got. We've got better things to do as teachers, as administrators, and as students is worrying about if my hat's a distraction or not. But anywho, you guys have a great day. Hopefully my vetoes didn't offend you. Just shooting straight. But hopefully maybe you can override my veto. It takes 2/3 of you. So if we had 28 voters, get your 2/3 out of that. What is that? Do your math. Do your math. 28, 2/3. Good Lord. Good luck, everybody. After this, go into Schoology. There's a little quiz, open notes quiz, and then study with your study guide for Friday's exam. Take care, everybody.